I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
Alright, I've been reading up a little bit about you. I have indeed. I read up and I found out that you were actually born in Riverside on the 23rd of December.
That's right, yeah.
1991.
91, yeah, Keelan Giles Hospital.
There we are, so that makes you a Cardiff then.
Well, I am half Cardiff. My mum's from the area, Penrith.
Right, well, every Cardiff I've ever met, I've asked this question. So I'm not going to make an exception and not ask you, right? Is it true that to get the money out of a Cardiff's hand, you've got to use a spanner? For anybody who doesn't know, they've got a reputation of being rather tight, the Cardiff, isn't that right, yeah? Yeah, you think that's right? True, Keelan, yeah? There we are then. Not as true as good, not as tight as Poseidon boys, are they? No. Right, so I've been reading up a little bit about you, and then I looked you up on Wikipedia. Have you ever looked yourself up on Wikipedia?
No, never.
Well, I looked you up on Wikipedia, and it said tight head prop for the Ospreys.
I got that wrong, didn't I?
Well, it said that it was, it's not me saying this though, this is Wikipedia saying this. It said a controversial tight head prop. Yeah, that's exactly, if you look it up, that's exactly. So I have to ask you the question, do you, after your brief sojourn on, we won't talk about your sojourn down the other side of the bridge, right? 15 appearances for the Scarlet, for the Llanelli.
15.
15 for Llanelli, and how many for the Scarlets?
101.
101, that's how many for the Ospreys?
81.
Thank you very much, because I couldn't find that on Wikipedia. Right. I give them a clap, 81 appearances, so we're getting close to the magic 100. But it's what was it? Yeah, having had a brief sojourn on the tight head.
Which side do I prefer?
Which side do you prefer? Yeah.
Well, loose side.
Loose side. Okay, yeah. There we are. Right, rhaid mi gofyn cwestiwn arall hefyd. Beth yw eich cof gynhyraf yn un o'r rygbi? Beth ti'n cofio yn gyntaf? Unrhyw beth yn chwarae?
Dwi'n cofio pan o'n i'n tyfu fyny ar y ffarm. Mae gen i ddau frawd yn hun, so o'n i'n arfer chwarae rygbi yn efo nhw. Mae gen i ddau bach Japan y tŷ ffarm, ac o'n i'n arfer chwarae efo nhw. Mae gen i ddau frawd hun, un o'n nhw'n chwarae prop ac all chwarae fly half, so mae'n wahanol skills, so i curo un ar rhaid mynd rownd fo, a curo llall ar rhaid mynd drosto fo, so gweithio ar y ddau agwedd o'r gêm.
I bwy ydyn nhw'n wario te?
Mae nhw'n chwarae, mae un dal yn chwarae, mae llall yn rwyteidio, mae nhw'n chwarae rygbi, clwb rygbi, Machynlleth.
Machynlleth, da iawn. Right, now I have to ask you now as well, what to date is your, apart from being interviewed by myself, what is your most what's memorable? What's your most memorable moment in rugby to date?
I'd have to say winning would be being part of the Triple Crown winning team. So I was on the pitch for the 3 games, and then played a part in those games, and then actually winning some silverware. So that was my highlight of my rugby career so far.
Yeah. How many Welsh Cups have you had to date?
21.
21, and I believe you had. Yeah, give him a clap. He definitely deserves a clap for that. I understand you also had 22 appearances for the under-20s as well. Is that right?
Yes, played 2 years of the 20s. We went to 22 World Cups. We went to Italy and Argentina. So both very enjoyable tours. And I think you learn a lot, and it's a good experience playing for the under-20s, playing against different teams. Obviously, playing against South Africans tonight. You just experience different types of rugby, so it's important really for development.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And any advice, there's a few youngsters in tonight, any advice to anybody now that wants to be a professional rugby player?
I would say just when you're playing as a kid now, it's just enjoy it. There's no pressure on you to become professional. It's like that will happen if you once you get older, you're 16, 17, 18. Then you can maybe concentrate on one sport. But while you're young, I would play every sport and just play as many times as you can, and you learn different stuff from different sports. Like you learn hand-eye coordination if you're playing badminton, tennis, whatever. It's all movement. It's all beneficial. So definitely do everything.
I think that's very sound advice. Now that's just my opinion, but I think it's very sound advice. And one more question, final question. I love this question because we often ask this. Who is the worst person that you have shared a room with in the Ospreys squad, and why?
It's a pretty easy one. My first trip to Netherlands, I think was it Netherlands? We went on tour? Yeah, we went to Netherlands on tour. It was my first... Belgium, sorry, not Netherlands. We played against the Netherlands. We played against the Netherlands in Belgium, so quite confusing. But I shared with Nicky Smith that week, and he's the worst snorer I've ever shared with. So,
well, Keelan and I all know all about Nicky Smith, don't we? Yeah. Another one out there, voice here, so what do you
never share a room with the front row.
No.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you over. I think it's the first time you visited us, isn't it?
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming over. I think you've got to do this, and we've had strict instructions. So do you offer them out now and go
got the bad end of the stick, haven't you? So, Keelan, nice to have you over. First and foremost, how's the foot?
Yeah, there's a hamstring. I had surgery towards the back end of last year, but I'm soon to be back in 3 weeks.
Back in training or?
Yeah, back in training, start from last week.
Yeah.
So I need to get a couple weeks of training under my belt to be available then for selection.
So hopefully after November then?
Yeah, aiming for around the Munster game, I think.
Munster? Home?
I think the next
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Sorry, because we can use you. So, first, what's your most memorable moment in an Osprey shirt of your 50 caps you've had so far?
Probably my first game debut out on the Swansea.com stadium.
Liberty.
Yeah. Yeah, probably my debut and then scoring on my first game, my professional game. So yeah, that's probably my favourite moment so far.
Guys, and I know you all want to have a chat after the game, right? But these lads come over for 20 minutes. That's all they come over for. So it would be nice if we could actually all hear them. Thank you. So, one question I used to ask before was what player you'd put in the gunge tank, not grunge. And many players used to say Tandy. Would you put Booth in there?
No.
Only because he wants to be selected in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Keith nicked most of my questions, I will be honest with you, so next time I can come up first. Yeah, well, I can say. Who's the most annoying player in training?
Annoying?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't say annoying, but a few boys like to chuck their weight about when we're not actually doing contact and stuff. So yeah, probably a couple of front rowers. Probably Rod's up there probably. Just more clumsy more than anything. A few knees and elbows and standing on you and stuff. So it's probably one of the forwards.
That's not fair, because you're like about 8 stone an ounce.
Yeah,
You know?
talking
Look
about
at him, look at him. Good lad. So earlier on today, I spoke to your dad. And I asked him for some embarrassing stories. Don't worry, you didn't tell me any actually. You wouldn't let me know. I'm so proud of you. But he did say that when you were younger, so probably last week, you'd always take your rugby ball out with you when you go play. Yeah. And you and a certain Mr. Prothero would run around the play school. Yeah. So he was the fastest.
Yeah. We were obviously growing up at the nursery with Prod. So growing up, we were always best mates growing up. Obviously, there was a big title then, who's the quickest in the school. And me and Prod would always would race in school, but always avoid racing each other. We'd both be scared to lose that first place. So we'd never actually race against each other. But yeah.
So hopefully in 2 weeks we'll find out who really is the fastest.
Yeah, we will, I think. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one question. Any player you would take a red card for?
Rod Jones.
Howard Jones.
Rhodri Jones.
Rhodri Jones. That's unfair. You'd never take him down. Look at him. we want to thank you both for coming over. I know you're on a tight time scale, and obviously, and as I reminded every earlier, sorry guys, we can't have any photos or anything because the guys are in a player bubble, so we have to keep our 2 metre distance. All right, but say thank you to everybody for Keelan and Rhodri for coming over.